Okay, so thank you for your interest in becoming a contributor on Leatherpedia. What we're going to do in this video is walk you through a step-by-step guide on how to create an entry on the site. So first of all, make sure that you are logged in the top right corner here. If you have not logged in, you can, or if you have not created an account, you can create one, or make sure you're logged in. And from there, you can access the Create Entry page from the side menu here with under the Create Entry button. So that is where we are here. Now today we are going to walk through the process of creating the Guy Baldwin entry on Leatherpedia. So to get started, you'll see that there are two fields here. One is for the entry title and the other one is for the text. And we have three buttons here. The Add Media button adds photographs. The visual editor is what it looks like when it's all done visually, and the text is where the text goes as well as any HTML code that's being used. So first things first, the first step is to add the text. And what I've done here is in a word processing document, I have written out Guy Baldwin's entry. So here it is here, and I would recommend doing this especially for longer entries as opposed to just writing it in the text editor itself. So right up front here we have the title, so I'm just going to copy that and paste that right into the box there for the title. And for the rest of the text, I'm going to highlight the whole thing, and I'm going to make sure that I'm in the text tab of the editor as opposed to the visual tab. That'll ensure that I am only pasting over the text itself and not any formatting that Microsoft Word may have attached to it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paste it here, and as you can see, the entire content is there. If I go back to the visual tab, now I see it formatted in a nicer font, and what I'm going to do is apply some formatting. So the default formatting class is paragraph, and that's correct for almost everything except for the headings. So all of the headings that I have included in the Guy Baldwin entry, I'm going to select heading 2 from the dropdown. So heading 2 is the main heading format that each entry should use. For subheadings, you would use heading 3. For a subheading below that, you would use heading 4, and so on and so forth. But for each of these, to keep things simple, I'm going to use heading 2. And I'm going to navigate all the way down, selecting each one. You'll see that there's no one-size-fits-all method to what the headings are called. It really depends on the subject themselves or itself. Okay, so here we have the finished text-based entry. So you can see it's very easy, very user-friendly. The next step is to hyperlink. So hyperlinking is very important. It makes it just like Wikipedia. It allows users to click around the website and sort of get lost in the Leatherpedia content. So I'm going to do one hyperlink as an example, but what you do is you would go down your entire entry and look for relevant links that you could add to other Leatherpedia entries. But right off the bat, in the first paragraph here, I see that International Mr. Leather is mentioned, and I know that there's an International Mr. Leather page on Leatherpedia, so I'm going to want to link to that. So I'm going to highlight that here, and this button right here says Insert or Edit Link. I'm going to click that, and you don't need to know the URL of the page. All you need to know, if you just start typing the page title, it will search for it. And I see it there, International Mr. Leather. I'm going to click it and click the apply button, and now we have a link to the International Mr. Leather page. And then what I would do is I would just go through the entire entry looking for links where I know that there is a Leatherpedia page to link to and insert those links there. So now the text of our article is done, and if you would just like to create a text-based entry, you would stop here, and that's completely fine. Adding images and media is a little bit more involved, but it's not too complicated, and that's what we're going to go through now. But like I said, if you would like to finish just with text, you would then click these checkboxes and click Add New Entry down here. but we're going to move forward with inserting photos. So I am going to go back to my text section here, this text tab, and I would like to add a photo to this entry. So here on my computer, I have my Guy Baldwin folder, and I have 3 images to use throughout the entry, but for now I'm just going to focus on one, and I would like to use an image of Guy Baldwin on stage at IML, which is this one right here. So I'm going to go and I'm going to find the section of the entry that talks about Guy Baldwin at IML. So here it is here. It says as a title holder. And I would like to put it, I'm just going to create some space for myself. I would like to put it here in between the heading and when the text starts. And we're going to get the text to wrap around it. So given that here, I'm going to click the Add Media button. And I'm going to click my Select Files. And here we have Guy Baldwin on stage at IML, and I'm going to click to open that. And you'll see on this bar here, it's uploading, and you just want to give it a moment to upload. Okay, it's all done, and then we're going to insert that into the page. So you can see in the space that I created, there's now a snippet of HTML code right here. So this is for the raw image file itself, and if you go back to the Visual tab and scroll down, you can see what it looks like. It looks all right, but it is completely unformatted. We want the text to wrap around the side here. We'd like to be able to add a caption. So I'm going to go back to my text editor, and here we have the image here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the step-by-step guide, which is where you found this video, and scroll down and find the code. It's under the Add Images section, step 3. And I'm going to add the code for inserting an image. Now this is the code for aligning the image to the left side of the page. If you wanted to align it to the right side of the page, you would use this code down here. But I'm going to use the left side, so I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to paste it here. So up here we have our unformatted image, and down here we have the code for the formatted image, but we need to put in the information. So for image title, where it says insert your image title here, we're just going, you can name it anything we want. We're going to name it Guy Baldwin IML. For source, the SRC code, that should correspond up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this link from our raw image file, and we're going to paste it where it says insert the link to the image source here. So now it's pulling that image into it. For alt, this is alt text, so if a browser does not load the image properly, text will appear. So you just want it to be descriptive of what the image is. So I'm going to say Guy Baldwin on stage at IML. And then we have the caption text. So here we are going to write what we'd like the caption text below the image to be, and I'm going to write Guy Baldwin on stage at IML in 1989. Now what I'm going to do is I have the formatted image here. I'm going to delete the code of the raw image file because we now have our formatted image down below. So now this is our finished formatted image, and if you go back to the visual section, you can see the text now wraps around it, and we have our caption down below here. The next thing that I'm going to add is an info box, and if you take a look at the Patrick Smith entry here, this is the info box. It's always at the very top of the page on the right-hand side, and it includes an image of the subject's name, and what the subject is known for down below. So that's what we're going to add for Guy Baldwin. All right, so I'm going to go back to my text editor tab, and as I mentioned, this is the very first thing that you see on the page. So I'm going to create a couple spaces just at the very top of the text box here. And if I go back to my guide for creating an entry, I'm going to scroll to the info box section, and here's the code that we use for our info box. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste that here. But now again, this is just the code template and we actually need the image to add. So again, I'm going to go to Add Media and I'm going to upload this image of Guy Baldwin. And it's going to upload, and keep in mind that for the info boxes, the image should be a current image of the person, and older images or images from a specific period of time can go later in the entry. But for the info box, it should be a current representation of what the person looks like now. So here we have our raw image file. And again, we're going to do the exact same thing as we did with the former image that we used of Guy on stage at IML. So for image title, we're going to call it Guy Baldwin info box. You can name it anything you want. For source, now again, we need to use this URL from the raw image file here. So we're going to copy that and paste it there. We're going to choose some alt text. So I'm going to write Guy Baldwin addressing an audience. Okay, so now we have text that says insert name of entry here, and of course the name is Guy Baldwin. And then we have insert what the subject is known as here, and I'm going to write International Mr. Leather 1989. If you would like to add a second line of what they are known for, just use a line break tags. That's BR. That creates a new line, and you would write, I'm going to write author, since he's also authored several books. Now again, we have the raw image file up here and the formatted image right here. We're going to get rid of the raw image code because we don't need that anymore. We have it right here. And again, if you just hop over to the visual tab, you can see that we did that successfully. We have the image of Guy for the info box, his name, and what he's known for down here. Okay, so here we have our finished entry. And what we're going to do now is click these two checkboxes, and then we're going to click Add New Entry. And we're done. And now what you can do is you can either share it to Twitter, you can share it to Facebook, or we can go and view it. So I'd like to view it. Let's click there. And here we have our Guy Baldwin entry. So text here. These are the headings that we added in. This is the text. We have our info box here with the photo, the name, what he's known for, and everything all sectioned out. And then we also have our hyperlink here to the International Mr. Leather page. So users can click around the site. So thank you very much for contributing. It is a huge help to have people out there who are willing to add content to our site, and we really hope that you get a lot of great use out of this. Thank you.